Hello and happy May the 4th be with you to everyone out there in the vinyl community. Today's video is a video response to VinylCollector James' video thread where he talked about Holy Grails, Grail records, and what the Grails really mean to me. He listed a bunch of records that he considered Grails from his collection, and then he posted the question for everybody to make video responses to the question, some of your Holy Grails that you have in your collection. So I decided to take part, so this is my video response. Please subscribe to VinylCollector James. You'll see his link down below. And thank you very much. That was a good video idea, and let's try to keep this thing going. Link me and James in your videos and show us your Holy Grails. So here we go. I started collecting vinyl when I was in high school, so around 15, 16. I didn't have any idea what I was doing, and I was fine with that. I was having a good time just going through the thrift stores and things like that, and just seeing things that, you know, just discovering music really for the first time. So that's pretty cool. But then as I got older and I had a family, I have an 8-year-old son, I stopped collecting for a while, and then I got reconnected with an old friend that I hadn't seen in a long time, and he gave me a record that restarted and rekindled my love of vinyl. And me and him actually run a vinyl group on Facebook called Vinylocity. If you want to check us out, that's Vinyl O-C-I-T-Y, Vinyl O-C-T, Vinylocity. And yeah, we've been modding that since 2014, and that's pretty much when I started collecting again for the second time. The album that he gave me is actually just like a play copy. It's not even in that great a shape. It just holds a lot of significance because it was the first time that he and I had hung out, just us, ever, and the first time that we had really even seen each other in almost a decade, I would say. So that album is The Times They Are Changin' by Bob Dylan. So to me, there's two different levels of Grail. You have the monetary type of Grail, and then you have the emotional connection Grail. I don't really spin this one. I have a nicer copy, but this copy just brings back all the memories of why I have what I have today, just 2 years later. This is a good place to start because, you know, you start at the beginning. So, Times They Are Changin' by Bob Dylan. And the next thing we're going to talk about is more of a monetary Holy Grail, if you will. The next one I'm going to show you guys is my copy of Pearl Jam's Lightning Bolt. The story behind this one is I bought this brand new sealed, and it arrived and it had some defects. It was skipping, and I wasn't all too pleased, but so I checked the Discogs page to see if anybody else had had trouble with it, and lo and behold, they were offering people this email address on the Discogs page that says if you have trouble with your release, that they had some issues, email them and they'll send you a new copy in the mail. Well, I did that. I showed proof of purchase. I showed them the receipt, proof of purchase, and they said, "Our bad, we'll send you a new copy out right away." They overnighted me a copy, and for some reason, and there was no trickery involved, I showed them the receipt, and this is just the standard black vinyl. For some reason, they decided to send me the rare, hard to find red vinyl. I think this one goes for over $200. There's probably stupid prices out there that nobody's willing to pay, but I'd estimate the value at around $200, and I paid nothing more than the black copy that I decided to keep anyways, even with the defects, because you know, this one just came in a plain white sleeve, and I really love the artwork with the die cut center. So yeah, Pearl Jam Lightning Bolt on red vinyl. It was free to me, and yeah, Holy Grail. And the next thing that I'm going to talk about is actually two records, but they kind of go hand in hand with me, and they're more towards the memory side. In 2001, my dad and I went to see Eric Clapton in concert on the Reptile Tour, which was, I believe at the time, supposed to be his last tour. But we got to see my secondary idol, Billy Preston, and Eric Clapton was my favorite at the time, and my dad and I got to spend a whole day together. And yeah, so that is a memory that I'll never forget. So just for that reason, I had to seek out a copy of the UK pressing of Reptile by Eric Clapton from 2001. It's about a $100 record. It's not the most expensive record by any means, and it's definitely not even close to being his best. There's some really good songs on it, but it's all about the memories. And So when I get this, or when I listen to this, I think back to our trip to Cleveland, Ohio. Got to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Had a piece of key lime pie. That many years ago, and I can remember all of these things, and so I had to get this. And the next thing isn't really even from my concert, but it's almost 100% the same set list. It's the DMM Cutting Vinyl Passion. It's called Live at Budokan. It's from that 2001 tour. The only thing that's different is Billy Preston wasn't there. He didn't go. He didn't go on that tour to Tokyo. Yeah, but Nathan was on bass. Andy Fairweather low. It's pretty much the same set list. So when I hear this, it's basically taking me back to that night in 2001 at the Gund Arena before it was torn down or changed. Gund Arena, got to see my idol with my other idol, my dad, and so for that reason, these two right here are considered in my top Holy Grail records because of all of the wonderful warm feels that they bring to me every time that I look at them and listen. This record goes for usually around $200. For $70, I picked up a copy of Ben Folds Live. It's a 2 LP set of just Ben solo at his piano, doing what he does best. It's again, I thought I was going to get all the studio albums, and I thought, that's okay if I don't get this. I have the CD, but whatever. But it actually sounds really awesome. It's a really good pressing for a live album, and I was pretty happy to get it. And yeah, I didn't think that I would get it for such a good deal, if ever. So happy to have this. And now moving on, the next Grail is actually again another series of Grails, a series of box sets rather, and this time they come in the form of my DMB Dave Matthews Band live tracks box sets. They've released 5 of them so far. I have 4 of the 5. This is red vinyl and orange vinyl here. I believe this one is, yeah, that's the green vinyl. And this is the brand new one. That's the 2015 Record Store Day one on pink vinyl. I am missing the very first one. And right now there's one for sale and it's going for like $1,000. So I'll probably not be getting that one anytime soon. But my 4 Dave Matthews box sets, monetarily and because I've been such a big Dave Matthews fan for so long, it's nice to be able to relive some concert experiences for concerts that I didn't go to. I used to be a tape trader, so I have several hundred, maybe even 1,000 different live shows on CD, but just to have them on vinyl with the really nice artwork and individual sleeves and things like that, it's pretty nice to have them around. All right, now moving on, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is another one that's worth a lot of money, but it's also very important to me, and that one is Recovering the Satellites, Counting Crows. It's not actually my favorite Counting Crows album. It's probably my second favorite. Of course, you got their debut album, which is probably one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. Yeah, this one's pretty hard to come by. It was released in 1996. It's got some really awesome songs on it. And Miller's Angels is in my top 5. They're definitely in my top 10 favorite bands of all time. Right now, currently, I'd say they're in my top 2 or 3 favorite bands that I listen to quite frequently. So yeah, this one goes for typically 100, between 100 and 200, I'd say. I picked up my copy on Discogs for $60 back when I first started collecting again in 2014, before the giant bubble really got going. So I was lucky to pick this up when I did for, I believe, $60 shipped. Alright, the next album that I'm going to talk about with you guys is a really hard to find, pretty pricey album. My favorite song on it is Spark, and it's from the Choir Girl Hotel by Tori Amos. This is a recent pickup. It was one of those people who don't know how to list on eBay, so they had their item that was an auction end at like 4 a.m. I set my alarm. Luckily nobody else got up, and I believe I got this thing in near mint condition. Looks unplayed. I think I paid under $50 for it shipped. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's close to $50, $60, something like that, whatever it got up to. But yeah, I didn't have too much competition to get a hold of this one. It's a pretty good sounding record, and it's got some of my favorite Tory songs on it. I also have an original pressing of Boys for Pele. Boys for Pele is my favorite Tory album, and then Under the Pink, and then this one. So this is kind of an afterthought, but it's pretty, it's pretty pricey, so I'm just going to throw it in there for this. Alright, and next up, as you can see on my lap here, the next Grail that I want to talk about is the Queen Complete box set. I'm not going to pull the records out individually, but this is the colored box set that came out last year. I didn't think I was going to be able to afford this. I eventually pulled the trigger because I just had to have it. It was eating at my crawl not having it, so I put it on the old credit card and finally got the thing paid off several months later. And I'm slowly working my way through this. I'm trying not to listen to them all at once. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it at this point. But once every few weeks, I sit down with nice glasses of something or a beer, and I put one of these on and I really digest it. I'm really taking my time to really enjoy this. Okay, and the last one that I'm going to show you guys in this video is actually a record that my son's very first record. He is a avid dinosaur fan, an avid Jurassic Park the movie fan, and when Mondo announced that they were releasing the Jurassic Park vinyl or soundtrack on vinyl, I had to make sure I got him a copy. We listen to this one all the time. This one brings me closer to my son. It brings me and him together in my hobby. And now he has about 5 or 10 records, and yeah, he's not the hugest music and vinyl fan yet. But when any of my friends comes over, the first things out of his mouth are he wants to show them his record collection because he's proud of it. So as a father, of course I have to add this to the list. For one, it's a valuable record. For two, it's valuable emotionally, and I'm going to keep this one forever. For him, it is the Dilophosaurus limited run, the limited pressing. It's a beautiful looking record. It's definitely probably the crowning jewel in my collection as far as monetary plus the emotion that it brings. So Mondo did a great job pressing this too. This thing sounds amazing. The Jurassic Park soundtrack from Mondo on Dilophosaurus colored vinyl. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, this is a thread video, so please do one for yourself. Attach me to it, attach VinylCollector James to it. Like I said, subscribe to his channel. Link for him is down below if you're not already a subscriber. He has a lot of content and he has a really good record collection, and he makes really nice, thoughtful videos. I've been enjoying watching his channel. So, like I always say, I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy the music.